Well, that game was officially bonkers. I don't know what to think about that, but Australia get the win 37-42. We had the Ireland-New Zealand game on Friday, which wasn't that entertaining, to be honest. This one was just heart-racing excitement all the way through. Some quality, some terrible stuff. And this video is probably going to be more like therapy for me because there's plenty to get off my chest here, but I'd love to know what you think of that sort of crazy game because getting themes in that sort of game is very hard. I will do my best. This video is sponsored by Sports News Blitz, giving young journalists a start in life with placements, with internships, so thank you to them. Let's get into this game, and the beginning of the game definitely went to England. Had a long attacking set in the opening of the game. It's fairly basic, and I think for most of this game, England's attack was fairly basic, and it did get a bit better when George Ford came on, when Randall came on, that's for sure. But it's a bit slow. They're not getting the ball away that quickly, so Australia aren't overly stressed. But what we can see is Slade at 12 is letting Smith operate a bit wider, so it's okay. I would like a few more passing options, but Lawrence does call for a grubber in space behind, nicely regathers, Wright doesn't close the gap, and Faye-Wabutu and Earl move the ball very nicely out for Cunningham South, who barrels in. So it wasn't particularly on running-wise, so they call the kick and call it very well. Well executed, 5-0. Just as England are on the attack again, Ollie Lawrence gets absolutely smashed by Fraser McWright. Powerful counter-ruck. That leads to a penalty from 40 metres, nicely slotted from Lolosio, so that is 5-3. Then Tom Curry, who started the game pretty brightly, has a half break, and then the new double playmaker arrangement of Slade and Smith, they click into action nicely, and Smith operating a little bit wider lets him use his pace and his step, which is really his big strength, I think. In this game, his step and his little grubber were his best weapons for sure. He dummies Wilson, motors clear, it's a penalty, and Gensch does very well to take a quick sharp tap penalty, rush round the edge. Sulihi steps in, the recent convert from Rugby League, called out a few times in defence, but his offensive ability was definitely helpful to Australia. He's going to get so good in the future. But it gives China Cunningham South the chance just to pile over the scrum half Gordon. So the power man getting his second try, 12-3. So yeah, really good start for England. They converted 2 chances, not particularly dangerous in phase play, but dangerous enough and being very clinical. And when things go your way, it's all going your way. Messy scrum, but the penalty goes to England. Patient line-out drill, it's not going overly anywhere in the maul, but George breaks nicely, but for some reason there's no scrum half. Let me know if you spotted why. I don't know why, but the game is opening up and it breaks from end to end 3 times in a row. Australia could have scored, but in the end it's England that come out on top. Even when Smith seems to chip the ball away, it's all breaking England's way, and Lawrence kind of gets in the way on being on the floor in the way in a ruck, and England actually get a sealing off penalty. So bizarre phase of play, but England get a penalty, so 15-3. So Australia did have chances to score in that early opening 20, but England with the 2 tries. Early signs of seeing Tommy Freeman getting lots of joy in the air on the kick chase. He had a really good day on the kick chase for sure. Then on 21 minutes, just as England are looking on top, Gensch mucks up a pull behind. He mucks up a couple of passes in this game, which really did hurt England, actually. I mean, Gensch is looking sharp, he's looking fit, but in both games so far, he has made some crucial errors as well. He scrummaged pretty well, so don't quite know where to see with him. A prop who is playing very well is Angus Bell of Australia. He's such a great loose head. Smashes Tom Curry straight down, and the Wallabies work into the 22. Tom Curry's knocked out, I think, by Valentini. Second move of that attack. It's a nasty sight, so he has to go off. Don Brandt's on at 8 and Earl goes to 7. Australia are camping in the 22 and we see 2 lovely over-the-top offloads, and that is a massive difference between England and Australia. England just don't or can't offload the ball. Maybe they don't have the ability, maybe they don't practice it, but it really helps Australia create so much more chaos than England did in this game. And that over-the-top offload is the antidote to England's defence. England's defence, it really bugs me at the moment. They just don't change it. I don't mind a rush defence sometimes, but they do it all the time. And when you've got tall players in the backs, I mean, Salalihi is 6'5", so even if I hit hard, he can just pop out of the tackle, and he's so good at that rugby league over-the-top pop. Anyway, that goes to Wright, and he races in. So, yeah, risky defence really hurts England there, and it hurts them right at the end of the game as well. So they've got to change it up. As we're getting towards half-time, a second scrum penalty to England. Gensch winning that battle there over Tupu. Very useful penalty as Australia were getting some confidence. So that's 18-10. But then Australia finished the half really strong. So Alihi, again, his other big talent apart from the offload is his crazy jump height. They use him on restarts and he's beating Maritoji, who is being lifted in the air. What a freak. They're going to have to think about how they counter that. I don't know if you can. And Australia's speed of play is just too much for England at the moment, who are chasing shadows, backpedaling, giving away penalties, and 2 razor-sharp breaks from the replacement scrum half, blood replacement, Tate McDermott, and his second break offloads to Harry Wilson, and they are back in the game, 18-7, and that was a big difference for most of this game. Australia, much quicker ball, much more offloads. It really does kill a defence when you get that continuity all the time, especially when England are trying to rush, and it means they have to backtrack all the time. They have to look at it. Please let me know I'm not going crazy here. Anyway, Slightholme does get a chance to chip and chase, but booms the grubber kick, and we've seen in the Premiership, when he kicks himself, he has had a few wonky kicks, so that's something he needs to improve, although he did look dangerous. And just like the Ireland-New Zealand match, we can see that players really haven't grasped the idea that if you get in the way of a kick chase, you're going to get penalised. Stewart and Cunningham South, they are guilty at this point, or Australia do it as well. So that's a penalty, and actually Australia go into half-time ahead after that really good start from England, so 18-20, and it carries on after half-time with Australia looking like they're well on top. And at one point I thought England were going to get absolutely stuffed. I mean, So Alihi out-jumps a Toje, being lifted once again straight from the off, but Freeman's doing the job as well on Kellaway in the air, so some good aerial stuff there. I said in that New Zealand-Ireland game that they were cancelling each other out, the defensive catches. In this case, it was the offensive catches that were on top. But that speed of play for Australia had England in big trouble. They looked knackered. They looked slow. So Ali untouchable in the air, causing havoc. England do not have that physical talent in their backline, and it is showing. They did look slow at times. Is that something they can address with selection? Is it mindset? And then we get a lovely team try from Australia. I think the foot may be in touch, but I don't really care because it's such a good try from Australia. First of all, it's a trick line-out play down the front, lovely hands as well. One huge carry from Angus Bell, who is just phenomenal carrying prop. Then they're back down the blind so quick, and Williams' foot, maybe scrapes the touchline, but whatever. Fewa-Busu goes in with a no-arms tackle anyway. So it's a try, I'm happy with that. So it's 18-25 Australia, definitely playing a lot better. England looking so painfully slow at times in their forwards. Cunningham South, Itoje and Karen Dickey just stepped so easily by Wright from deep, and he breaks 80 metres. Penalty, they're pleased that Australia only get 3 points there, so it's 18-28, but 10-point lead is useful. Now, I don't want to get too down on England. I want to be balanced, and at this point, England, they stepped it up. They realised they were going to get stuffed, and they really stepped it up. Lawrence bounced up and down with some good carries. They go deep into the 22. They maul it, and then Smith and Slightholme, they conjure some magic when actually it was a wrong decision. They sweep round from open to blind, and there's 4 Australia players standing in front of them, so they do a good decision, take it right to their faces, and Grubber in behind. Slightholme's on the right wavelength, and races to gather and score. So that was tidy skills there, even though they'd gone down a blind alley. So they're back in the game, 23-28. They could have done with that wide conversion at that point. Now, I know this England rush defence can be a weapon, but also it just hurts themselves much more than I think it actually helps in this game especially, and it makes them so easy to sidestep. When you're playing against a team who love open play, offloading, if you're rushing up, they're like, fantastic, I'm going to offload, I'm going to sidestep, I'm going to break. And we see it straight after that one. 2 lovely offloads from Wilson, Valentini. Marcus Smith does incredibly well to get back tackle and Jackal. So really good work from Smith, but they're just not helping themselves by giving Australia targets to step and offload rather than drifting, rather than going a bit old school and standing off being organised. Anyway, rant for now over. There'll be more. On 60 minutes, the kick chase is winning ball back for England. But Cowan Dickey, who just looks a bit past it, to be honest, Genge again with his handling, muck up a good position, and on come Randall and George Ford. And to be fair to them, they do really well, a lot better than last game. They speed the game up, Randall's kicking's good, Ford definitely gets the attack flowing a bit more. Smith goes to 15, and they look more dangerous all of a sudden. Then a bit of a boo-boo from the big second row sub, Salakai Lotto, as he just veers wildly across into Slightholme, wipes him out for an easy penalty, and England can go deep into the 22. But off the line-out launch play, for some reason, Lawrence throws an offload that's never on and kills a great position. I mean, just some key errors here for England. They do some good stuff, they do some terrible stuff, so I don't know where the balance lies. Anyway, England at least are living in the Australia 22. Earl runs slight home out of space off a scrum. That could have been another score, so they could have got a lot more tries here, a lot more points. Anyway, George Ford in at 10 has allowed Smith to operate at 15 wider out, and he is so good at sidestepping and counter-attacking. And Ford spots a great chance for a quick line-out. Australia aren't ready. One sidestep from Smith, feeds Lawrence, and they're off, and they find Alex Don-Brown out wide. And this is what he's good at. He's not good at the tight grind, the tight power game. He's a genius out wide. He is a centre, a winger, trapped inside a forward's body, and he throws a lovely overs ball over the top there. Genius pass to Slight home to score. And we're back ahead. Crazy stuff from being down and out. The subs have made the difference, and it's 30-28 and a clutch conversion from Smith. And from 70 to 75 minutes, it looks like England have retaken control. There's more energy in the tackle. They're retaining the ball better. They're putting pressure with testing kicks. And you've got the scoreboard lead, so that's helping as well, until absolute catastrophe. England are in a great position, and it looks like a good launch play. A bit of interplay. Lawrence hits a short line off Ford. It looks simple, but Lawrence overruns. Maybe Ford doesn't give the pass correctly, but Lawrence can do that. He can spill those short lines sometimes. He's not a safe option on the short line. Who is to blame? I don't know, but it absolutely kills England from a great position. Australia break, and Kellaway goes the distance to score. 30-35. Maybe Australia have nicked it. No. Two more twists in this crazy game. Tommy Freeman, again, superb in the air, wins the kickoff straight away. Smith grubbers nicely, which he did all game. Wright has to carry the ball back over his line, so it's a 5-metre scrum to England. Then good pick and go. Nice dynamic swoop from Itoje to power over. That was a nice try. We need the conversion to go ahead. Smith gets it. Surely England have won. One more restart to deal with. No, we can't. We knock it on. We make a huge mess of it. Australia are going forward, but still we have numbers. We're on our feet. And what kills us? Of course it is the desperation to do the out-to-win defence, to rush up when there is no need, when you need to stay clean, look for a turnover, look for a knock-on from Australia, something to win the game. Why do you have to play so high risk? Honestly, it wound me up. 4 England forwards just shot from out to win, making the pull behind so easy. They're out of the game. But then it's still a 2-on-2. And Marcus Smith, unfortunately, he decides to step in and help Slight home when really he should have just left Slight home and stuck on his man. And his man was Jorgensen, who scores the winning try. Game over. Officially, I dislike this defensive system. I was very positive. I thought the defence might improve, but it's too high risk. They've got to be able to change their defence for the situation. But sometimes when you're a pro, you have to do what the coach says or you feel like you won't get picked. And you can't stop and say, no, we're not doing this in this situation. Anyway, that left it 37-42 to Australia. Fair play, Australia. I think they deserve the win because they were so exciting in their attack. Many more offloads, loads of steps. England shot themselves in the foot. At least they got back in it, showed some character, but goodness me, rushing up all the time, plays into a team like Australia, plays into their hands. The steps, the offloads, you need to be cleverer than that. I think they can get a bit better with personnel as well. I'm going to have a think on that one. What do I think about it? Well, I've said lots of things in that review. I'll try and get a bit of a summary at some point and see where England go from here. But it's another loss, and there's plenty to improve. Australia, they'll be delighted with that win. So Leahy, the new guy, looks absolutely phenomenal. He's going to be world class, no doubt, with more experience. Anyway, pop all those comments below. What a crazy game. Do subscribe, do like, that helps so much. Appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next time.